Hello, Internet. I need to just get this out of my head and vent for a little bit, just so that it's not something that I focus on and dwell on and let it kind of burrow into my brain because it's not that important, but it also is important. And I need to just move past it within my own mind. Let me take a sip of some coffee first. It's the morning. I'm here. I'm barely awake. I've been drinking a lot more coffee lately. If you're someone, I know this is a very adult thing, but I just recently discovered that if you drink more coffee, you feel more energetic. So if you're feeling tired throughout the day and you need more energy, just drink twice as much coffee. Anyway, that's not what I wanted to talk about in this video. Um, what I want to talk about is being a creative person, doing any sort of creative thing, posting it online, and getting too caught up in the numbers, getting too caught up in the metrics of what you're doing, and letting that affect the art itself, which is something that I feel like has been happening to me a little bit lately. So I'm a pretty small channel, right? I have 4.5 thousand subscribers at this time. And every single time I post a video for the past couple months, I lose subscribers. Now, a vast majority of that is probably because a lot of my recent subscribers I got from making music commentary videos where I'm kind of talking about different things related to making music or just the music in not even the industry, just music in general. So I think a lot of my more recent subscribers have found me from that style of video. But the whole purpose of this channel has always been just documenting my thoughts and archiving my brain on a weekly basis for the rest of my life. And I don't want to say I got away from that because that is what I was thinking about at the time. But I think what happened is I got caught up in a bit of what they call audience capture, where something worked. And this is kind of what they tell you to do. Like if you're making content for social media, if something works, basically just repeat that same thing over and over and over again until it stops working, and then do the next thing. Excuse me, I just burped. And yeah, maybe it worked for a little while, but then my views just went back to how they were. And this is what I'm talking about. I don't want to think about views. I know this video is not going to get any views, but I'm telling myself that now so that the next time I make a video next week, I can just do whatever I want. And I feel like hopefully this will be out of my head and I don't have to worry about it because I don't want to worry about it. This channel is not supposed to be like me getting a bunch of views, blowing up and becoming a YouTuber. Maybe down the road, I'll make a different channel that's more, YouTube content where I can get more views and get more subscribers and potentially make more money. That is not something I'm planning to do right now. This channel is not about that. This channel is an art project that I'm going to spend the rest of my life doing. And I feel like I haven't been treating it as an art project. And I really want to get back into the headspace of really just focusing on documenting and not, trying to figure out what topics I think people would watch or figure out ways to game the algorithm a little bit in order to get more views because it doesn't work. It's not working. And it's not making me want to stop, but it is making me feel like I'm doing something wrong. But that's the problem in itself is my interpretation currently of whether I'm doing something right or wrong is based on not only other people, but an algorithmic interpretation of my videos, which is not what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to do is document my thoughts, archive my brain, and do it forever. It's an art project. That's what this channel is. So as long as I'm doing that every week, then I'm doing the right thing. I don't need an algorithm to tell me if it's right or wrong, But it's so hard not to get caught up in metrics. It's so hard not to get caught up in numbers because that is how other people on the internet can determine whether or not what you're doing is successful. And of course, I want to be successful. Of course, I would love to just sit here, record my thoughts, and it gets a million views and I make enough money to survive off every month. Obviously, I would want that to happen. But, there's been times where I've sort of dipped my toe in talking about external things for the purpose of getting views. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. When it works, it feels great in the moment because you're like, hell yeah, I'm getting more views. But then you're like, okay, well, these people are watching me not because of me, but because of what I'm talking about. And then when it doesn't work, that's the worst feeling. When you try to do something to cater to an algorithm and it doesn't get you any views, you're just kind of like, what am I doing? It's like a weird type of shame. If you make videos and content, you know what I'm talking about. But I want to move past it. I want to not worry about this anymore. Like, I feel like I've gotten far away from what I used to consider being an artist. And I think this is the case for a lot of artists on the internet. There's sort of like this artist to content creator pipeline where you start out as an artist and then you make content to promote your art. And then you kind of just start prioritizing the content over your art. And I feel like I've sort of done that a bit, but I haven't even been prioritizing the content either because I'm lying to myself and telling myself that's not what I'm doing. So I'm not even going 100%, like in other ways, aside from this channel. I used to stream all the time. I used to upload shorts all the time. I used to put out way more music. I used to draw way more. I used to just make like more, even like artistic videos, like skits or like, just things that have a little bit more artistic value in my mind than like just cutting up a clip and posting it, which is also helpful. And I want to do that more. But this is basically just a rant for me to sift through some ideas and really stop worrying so much about numbers. And I don't want to address this on the channel anymore because I hate when YouTubers become so self-referential that most people don't even want to watch their videos unless they're like heavily invested and they only care about what they think about what they're doing. Does that make sense? Like, now I know I have like a solid community here and I know I have a solid amount of people that follow me and watch all my videos, and I am very grateful for that. And that's why I don't want to do this anymore. That's why this is the last time I want to do this. I don't want to talk about views anymore. I don't want to talk about subscribers. I don't want to talk about my content anymore because it's not helpful and it's not going to grow my channel and it's not going to make me feel artistically fulfilled. So this is sort of just like a cleanup video, like a housekeeping video for myself in a lot of ways. And again, this is still technically in line with the purpose of this channel, but I just don't feel fulfilled complaining to nobody about not getting views. So I just wanted to address that. I do want to start streaming again. I'm going to start streaming, making music again soon. Maybe not until the new year, but maybe sooner. Depends on how it goes. At some point recently, this was a couple months ago at this point, I did say I was going to make another channel for like different types of content where maybe I'm talking about other things and it's like shorter form and all that stuff. I've kind of just turned that into my TikTok, where posting clips on TikTok and Instagram has never gotten me anywhere. And TikTok, the only thing I care about is people seeing my face and getting views. That's the only purpose of TikTok. It's almost impossible to convert people to like a YouTube channel from TikTok or like a Twitch stream from TikTok or like to listen to your music from TikTok. There's so many people that are big on TikTok and a lot of those views don't translate to the other things that they're doing. So the way I think about it, there's no point of posting on TikTok if it's not getting views. So I only am posting things that I think are going to get me views. And if they don't get a certain amount of views, I just delete the TikTok because I don't care about TikTok. I'm literally using it just so people get familiar seeing my face. So maybe if they go on YouTube, they see me on their homepage, they'll be more likely to click it. But they're not going to go from my TikTok to my link tree to my YouTube. That just almost never happens, right? So if you're curious about my random thoughts on, topics that are current, I'm not really like getting into like these hot takes or anything. It's just really like quick regurgitations of what I feel. I don't talk on TikTok. I only post text and just a song. It's like a 6-second video. That is all I am willing to give to TikTok. But so far, it's been the most successful thing that I've done on TikTok. Because that's what people want. They just want like quick takes that aren't that crazy, and they can just kind of like move on with their day. Like, I think if you're like investing, unless you have a ton of money and you already have a huge following, if you're investing a ton of time and energy and resources into making short form content for TikTok and Instagram, I think you're doing the wrong thing. Honestly, I think that's dead. I think, you can post a 6-second video of you just going like this with some text, 50,000 views, or you can spend a week making a very highly edited, highly focused video that's 20 seconds, post it, and it gets like 300 views. That is most likely what's going to happen, because people don't care about you. People don't care about your art. People don't care about what you're doing. They want to know what's going on in the world. They want to hear what you think about things that they're already thinking about. And then you basically just give people a place to talk about them in the comments. Like, that's kind of how I approach TikTok. Is I just kind of present a topic that most people probably already know about and probably are already thinking about, and I just give people a place to talk about it. And don't give the whole take in the video either, like in the text. Like, leave some information out so people have something to talk about. That seems to be working. And again, I open the app, I take 35 seconds to post a video, I close the app, and I move on with my life. And if it gets views, cool. If it doesn't, I delete it and I move on with my life. So I think that is the best way for me to... I can't invest myself in making these like long form videos about like this creator, that this happened to them, and then like this was the fallout and all that stuff. Like, I thought that I was going to want to do that, but I don't want to do that, because I don't want to invest my time into something else. Does that make sense? Like, I want to, if I'm going to put a lot of effort into something, I want it to be my own creative expression and my own voice. And I don't want people to only know me because I talk about other people. If they do on TikTok, I don't care, because I don't care about TikTok. But I do care about YouTube, and I do care about streaming, and I care about my music. So that's kind of where I'm at with it all. Again, this is sort of like a channel update, I guess, for people. If you're still watching this video, you are a fucking real one, and I appreciate you. I really just want to do what's best for me, and I think in turn, that'll be what's best for the viewers. So thanks for watching. Also, I've been posting a lot of polls on my community tab on this channel. So if you go to my channel and go to posts, you'll see a bunch of polls. A lot of them are music related. I try to keep them, simple and silly. Honestly, I do sort of use it as a way to like crowdsource information, because there's certain things that I'm like, well, what do people actually think about this? Like, how long should an album be? How many songs should be on an album? Like, those are things that I actually like am curious what people think. And I think the community polls is a very good way to get that information, because people can just scroll, vote, and then just keep scrolling. Like, most people don't like the post. They don't even comment. They just vote and then they just move on. But that's good, because I just want like quick responses from people. So I've been posting like, 5 polls pretty much every week lately. So check those out if you haven't. Just go through and you can just vote for all of them if you want. Some of them are silly and stupid, but I think it's a cool way. It's like a low effort way for me to keep people engaged with my channel, and at least like keep visibility and also gain information that I can use for my content in the future, or my art or whatever. So yeah, I think that's it. I don't want to take too much of your time. I don't know how long this video is already, but starting next week, I really don't want to be as self-referential as I've been. I tend to overthink things. I tend to get in my head, and I really want to like use this channel to get out of my head. That's the whole point of it, is to just get things out of my head. And I don't want those things to be so like, what's the word? Like self-cannibalizing. Or I'm sort of like, oh, there's a really sick bird right outside my window. I don't know if you can hear it. Okay, he flew away. I love birds. I used to think that bird watching, I didn't understand it I'm not a bird watcher now, but I get it now. Where I see a bird, I'm like, fuck, that's a cool ass bird. Whatever. Anyway, that's it for this week. Next week, we'll see what I'm thinking about. I have no idea because that'll be next week. It's not today. Yeah. Thank you for supporting my channel if you watch it. Join the Discord. If you made it this far and you're not in the Discord, get in the Discord. People are posting music all the time in there. You know, we like to prop each other up creatively and like, it's very positive. And there's like a really solid group of people in there that are always like giving positive feedback for people's music. So get in there. Yeah, new video every Sunday. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.